Hello and welcome to one more video. This is going to be a different one. We're not going to be talking about the games this time. Instead, we're going to be talking about Lego. So this right here would be a Beholder. You might recognize this from something like Dungeons and Dragons, for example. And I'm here to kind of talk about how I created this thing because you might see it looks pretty cool. The whole eye thing, the mouth. So I'm going to drive the creation here. I'm going to give some ideas of how you can improve or create it in a different manner. A very interesting thing about beholders is that each beholder thinks that it's the peak of perfection. So perhaps the beholder that you are going to build with the Legos are going to be even better than mine. With no further ado, let us just start to dissect little Xanathar here. So, let's see. The first thing I'm going to be doing is show the system inside. So we have to take the top of his head. And there it is. So I'm using this kind of brick more for like aesthetic purpose than like necessity. You can use a 4x4 full nub and it will be the same thing basically. Inside here, to hold the eye in its position, I'm using a Technic piece with the Technic special thing right here. And the eye is attached to it, obviously. Going to our sides here, more of the static bricks by the sides. Here's kind of like I used to build the tentacles. So you can see this is actually the painter brick that you would use with one of these, the little Technic piece, and one of these to be the main, I guess, painting thing, where the paint is. And finally we start to dwell in how I built the eyelids. So the eyelids is actually a kind of brick that is used above a kind of like wheel for a truck, for example. This actually came from a truck. You might also recognize this brick from sets like the Ninjago truck that had a snake head, for example. And there it was also used as eyelid, but not just like this. So what I did here to get this effect is that you can see here, I have used a brick 1-for-1 that has double knobs. A knob in each of the sides and on top. Not on all the sides though. So it allows to create basically what we want. So the idea is that it stands as a connector between the bottom and the top. We have fulfilled the bottom with the other bricks, just so it looks as a whole brick. If you don't have this kind of brick and you're like, well, what can I do to have this eyelid effect? You could be using the small archway brick. So the small archway brick, if you look like this, it kind of resembles an eyelid as well. Then you might be like, okay, but I don't have the little nub guy. How do I get this connection then? Well, there's a simple spell, but quite unbreakable, that you can do, which is getting a simple 1-for-1 with one nub. And then you put this Technic piece like this to the end, and now you have a node that connects to both sides. So you could actually just have the same function happening right here. Take note, you'll have to do this for both sides, or as you can see, you have a millimeter difference right there. Not much though, but it might take you to recalculate some things about your beholder. For the teeth, you can see that I have used the cheese piece, as we call it, both on top and on bottom, and to get the whole static right of finger positioning, the teeth positioning, I put them in contrary forms, as if they complete each other. Same thing I use for the cheeks, and after you do the cheeks like this, you even can have some kind of not really complete millimeter thing. If you look closely, it's not really like connected, but it will not damage your structural brick or anything. As you can see right here, the eye that I've used is this brick, and if you don't have this brick, you can resort to other ways like using this as an eye. Maybe you want to create a more ghastly kind of eye, so we do this, or maybe you just try to build a whole orb with this brick. I like this brick more, and I even calculated the whole archways up and down to set the measure for it. And basically, this would be Xanathar, the Beholder. The other bricks that are here are for other ideas on how you can build your own Beholder. Like, for example, this is like the body that I have used, and it has some unique bricks there, here and there, and it is kind of really geometrical, like it looks like a cube or a square. So maybe you're like, I want my Beholder to be more round, more circular. Well, you could be using these kinds of bricks. So as you can see, perfectly round, and as you can see, it's not very expensive to build them. And for the roof, like not the roof and the bottom, you could be using these bricks because they also keep the round shape perfectly as you want. Maybe you don't have these, so you could be using this kind of brick that is kind of the same thing if you actually compare them, but one is more like straight shaped and the other is more round. If you don't have any of those, you can even use this kind of brick to create this effect. So you might join them here, secure them with a brick, and voila! You have another kind of a circular way to build, and all you need is a brick with a knob to the side that allows you to create the round shape that you want. Personally, I really like the more cubic or square shape for my creations. For the teeth, you could be using this kind of brick, the whole teeth or claw thing. And then we get to the tentacles. I have used the little bike things or tricycle things, as you can see, so it gives a nice impression. I have talked about the painting supports, but you can also do things like using this kind of brick if you think that these tentacles are really small, or you can even go for very advanced buildings like this, which was a part of like the Murkwood spiders from the Lego Hobbit, and I have adapted as a kind of tentacle for another creation that I had. If you don't have the bricks for the side right here, you can use the older kind of bricks, which is like this. You could be using newer kind of bricks, like this. And you can be using your own compound. So you take a brick like this that has 2 spaces, you put this little fella that's very versatile, as you can see, and now you have created your own kind of walled creation. So now we're just going to rebuild Xanathar. Now that you know the inside and out of our little friend. And there he is, perfect as in the beginning. As you can see, for the eyes I have used the translucent bricks. You can put any color that you want. And of course, a video about Xanathar wouldn't be complete without Silva, his little fish friend. And I built an aquarium for it. So, thank you all for watching, I hope you have enjoyed, and see you guys next video.